Hi, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer with Best of Us Investors, and I got to thinking about the movie Back to the Future. It's a 1985 movie with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, in case you haven't seen it. And the whole of the movie is that in 1985, Michael J. Fox jumps in a DeLorean, and with Christopher Lloyd's help, a scientist, he goes back 30 years into the past, knowing what he knows from the future and how he reacts to people and what he shows them of the future. And then he comes back. And so I got to thinking, what if you and I had the opportunity to do that? And today, on May the 14th, we had the opportunity to go back 14 months to February the 23rd. And that was the day that the stock market woke up to the reality of the coronavirus and what happened. So let's assume that you got in a DeLorean, if you could find one. Maybe you get in a Tesla, okay? And I think it was they had to get to 85 miles an hour going down this road at the stroke of midnight, and wham, they go back, and you go back to February 23rd. What are you going to do? You go back to your home, and you know what's happening with the stock market, and you know what's going to happen over the next 14 months. What are you going to do? What are you going to buy? What you're going to do is have to tap your memory real hard and say, what dropped the most and what then recovered the most, and where are the real opportunities of what I would buy? I think it's an interesting exploration, particularly if you can bring it to the future and say, what if I could see 14 months, 3 years, 5 years into the future, what would I buy today? So that's what today's video is about. Your opportunity to experience Back to the Future. All right, we'll talk about it on the other side of this.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Grinkmeyer.
Okay. I have proclaimed over and over, I'm an investor in the future. And I believe that the world reacts to events. And I believe the most important event in my lifetime was March of 2020, when we discovered there was a virus that was going to affect the world's economies. And as a result, the stock market crashed. We've seen this before. The number two on my list, and I'm 76 years old, would have been World War II, the end of World War II, and how the world changed as a result of that, and then what was the innovation and the companies that grew out of that change. The next one in my life has to be, I believe, 9/11. The world changed as a result of that. Then I would say in effect of investing has to be the invention of the World Wide Web, the internet as we know it today, and then the mobile phone. And so these things set up change and created companies that didn't really exist because the change hadn't occurred. Amazon didn't exist. It is a product of the internet. So I am of the opinion that the biggest change in my life is the pandemic, and so there are companies that are going to be products of that change and are going to give me some investment opportunities. And so what I'm saying is, let's look on today as the day we come back to 3-5 years from now. So let's say it's May the 14th, 2026, and we come back. What would you invest in? What is the opportunities? Well, I know what I would invest in. Again, go from the premise that I believe the most important event in my life was the coronavirus. Well, I look at the coronavirus and I say, what happened relative to that? Well, one of the things that sticks out on my mind is everybody was amazed at how fast we got a vaccine. Everybody said that should have taken 6 to 8 years to get that vaccine, but something happened to make it possible to get it quicker. And I just read an article in Time magazine, this week's Time magazine, and it is talking about the 100 most influential companies currently in existence. And the first article was on a company by the name of Illumina. What is Illumina? Illumina is a genome sequencing company, and as a result of their equipment, they were able to sequence the virus and find out how to create a vaccine to stop it. Okay, so let's look at a chart of Illumina. Okay, and you'll see on this chart that on February the 23rd, it was at $490 a share. It's now at $381. I say I am seeing the same thing that happened in March of 2020 happened just since February of this year to Illumina. Someone believed that the consensus of the world was on February 23rd, 2020, that, well, Illumina was worth $490 a share. Okay? And this was as a result of people knowing, certain few people knowing the part they played in finding the cure, the vaccine for the virus. So I say that's an opportunity. That's an investment, a back to the future investment opportunity. Now, another company, and I want you to see this chart. This is Pacific Bioscience. This is Illumina's biggest competition right now. There's another one called Bengo, but here, $51 in February. May, it is $25. Back to the future, an opportunity. I also believe that as a result of the corona crisis, we woke up to a broken supply chain. And as a result of learning that, we are going to have to we are going to make major moves to bring manufacturing back to the United States. Well, why did it leave the United States? Because of cheaper prices, cheaper labor in specific. So when we bring it back, we have to negate that difference. And I think that will be negated by the use of 3D printing. So I invested in X1. Look at its chart. $66 in February to $19 today. Back to the future. This, I believe, again, reiterating what I said, the consensus was in February that it was worth $66. For some reason, and that reason has to do with interest rates. Is that going to stop? It has to do with inflation. Is that going to stop companies coming back to the United States and using 3D printing? I don't think so. When the heads were clear, when Trump was in office, the consensus was it was worth $66 a share. I believe if you don't own it, you need to be buying it at $19 a share. Another one in that, DDD, three-dimensional printing, 56 to 22. Look at the chart. You're coming, go forward, 3-5 years, come back, and this is your back to the future opportunity. Along the same lines, CRISPR, one of the companies that is using CRISPR-9 to find cures or therapies to remove cancer from our body, to remove sickle cell anemia, and there's a number of them. Invade is another one. These are opportunities. These are back to the future opportunities. $208 down to $106. my portfolio is full of these. My biggest holding, though, is Tesla. Look at Tesla's chart. $895 back in February, down to $589. Is that a buy? I certainly believe it is. I saw someone on CNBC, I guess it was probably on Friday, and he was saying, yes, Tesla is just nothing more than an automobile companies, and the margin in automobile companies are very thin, and it's way overvalued, and now it's finally getting back to where it makes some sense, back below $600 a share. Fella, it's not a car company. No, that's the electric car is just the next step to where I don't own a car at all, where I merely pick my phone up and say, send me a Tesla that I can sit in the passenger seat or in the back seat, and it'll take me where I want to go. Nita and I are going to take a trip, a 2-week trip, road trip, to see our grandchildren graduate, and another grandchild celebrate his 16th birthday. That's going to take us to the beach, to Savannah, Georgia, to Atlanta, Georgia, and home over about a 2-week period of time. Don't I wish I had a Tesla that we could sit in the back seat and watch a movie while we travel, and the car drives autonomously, and it's not my car. I don't have my 3-car garage is empty. That's the future, fella. So today is a Back to the Future day for me to add to my holdings of Tesla, because it is not a car company. It is an autonomous vehicle company that's going to take me out of the position of having $200,000 worth of depreciating assets sitting in my garage that I use roughly 5% of my lifetime waken hours, and I have to insure them. I have to pay license fees on them. No, take them away. So we are sitting today, May the 14th, and in a Back to the Future time. I believe Friday my portfolio went up 3%. It's down about 8% since January the 1st. It's down even more than that since the turnaround in early February. But this is the opportunity. This is your Back to the Future opportunity to invest in the stocks of the future. Don't base all of your investments on me and what I own and what I do. Do your own research. And I think if you're only going to read one book, read The Future is Faster Than You Think by Peter Diamandis and Stephen Cotter. And then they have another book called Bold that they wrote several years earlier. But this will give you a window into the future and give you some understanding as to what is going to happen. And you can be the next Michael J. Fox. And you don't have to go back 30 years. Just go forward 3 to 5. And you're going to, and why is that? Why in 1985 did they need to go back 30 years? Because technology wasn't what it is today. The exponential growth of companies was nowhere near what it's going to happen. That just struck me. That 30 years is now 3 years. The change that happened from 1955 to 1985 is equivalent to the change that is going to happen from 2021 to 2024. That's the equivalent. Okay, that's my cool video. I really like the thumbnail. And if you like thinking ahead rather than dealing with the day-to-day you know what, that comes at you, subscribe to this channel. Give us a thumbs up. We want to get 1 million subscribers. And why do we want 1 million? Why do I want 1 million subscribers? Because I want 1 million people at my Discord sharing ideas. So coming to the Discord and saying, Carrie, I got a better Back to the Future idea for you. Take a look at such and such stock. And it is shared with all the members of the Discord, and we start thinking differently. We don't worry about what Janet Yellen says and what Jay Powell says. We don't care, because the reality is we're investing in the companies that are going to change the world we live in, and it's coming fast. And this is your chance to go back into the future. All right. I got more like this, so come back, subscribe, and let's enjoy this.